for, not somebody who wants to buy a ticket exclusively for 100 million without us even knowing their source of income. I think those things are wrong. And I'm going to look at the law very clearly. If I see there's any way I can take the federal government to court in future as regard this, I am going to do it so that we can have a public discourse as we're having it now, because they are denying you, they are denying me, and they are denying the good people of Nigeria who can make a change. Today, we are having men who has lived their life, perhaps their children's life and their grandchildren's life at the age of 80 or less or more, who still want to continue the old status. And we are saying no to that. There has to be a change.
They are Nigerian.
Well, we know they are Nigerian, but what have they done lately? What have they done lately? What have they done lately? That's the question. So people must be given a chance. It's time for them to step back and relax and enjoy whatever they've accumulated as their work, and give opportunity to others. Because if you put a cap for a 25 million minimum to get a ticket, I'm asking you now, who is hosting me here, can you afford to get 25 million? Will your listener not know that you are brilliant enough to represent your senatorial district or to even governor your state? Yes, you can. But can you? You cannot, because you don't have the money. So those things have to change. Politics don't have to be all that. We have to be wealthy before we provide services for the good of this country.
Okay, we try to round up this segment before we go quickly into the aspect of the running mates. Now, what would you think, would you advise that Nigerians should look out for in whatever choice they want to make? Because if from your explanations you have given, I am not the one saying it, the opinion that you have given clearly shows is pointing to an angle that there are a lot of inadequacies in the selection that led to the emergence of so many other persons, so many persons who are representing various political parties. So, what do you think Nigerians ought to look out for when we talk about voting for whomever as we draw close to the 2023 general elections? What do you think we should look out for this time that is different from what you have always seen? And I want both of you to weigh in on this. I'll start with yours again.
All right. I won't take your time because I know you have a very short time. For me, I am a Democrat, okay? And I've also told you I'm fortunate to have a dual citizenship. People in Montreal, I'm sure some people are familiar with them in Quebec, we've always been fortunate to have the Prime Minister from there. But we, the English-speaking part, we don't care. What we care about is good governance. For me, I've always thought that it has to be about merit, whether it is Christian ticket or whether it's Muslim ticket. But it's unfortunate that we have made this thing ethnicity or religious issue. So for me, I don't care. What I care for is a man who cares about this country, whether it's Christian ticket or whether it's Muslim ticket. It shouldn't be an issue. We need a credible leader that can take us away from this mess.
Yes, thank you very much. This is the mandate with Kate and Nigel Clinic, and I have two great analysts, Senator Victor Umeh, former national chairman of Abuja, and Senator is currently the senatorial candidate of Labour Party. Also, we have Osagie Eholor, is human rights activist, and just to add that he was arrested during the NSAS process. I don't know. I like to add that part because that is a whole lot of sacrifice to make.
Indeed.
Yeah, and again, the mental picture that it paints within me each time I roll over that experience. Well, we're not talking about the various issues that the opinions of people. You would have noticed that there have been a lot of collaborations, partnership, and meetings ever since INEC came out to say every political party has 1 week to produce the governorship, the presidential, and the candidate flag bearer, and also their running mates as well. There has been all this politicking, and we have been hearing names. I would not want to go into all of that because all of that are rumors as far as I'm concerned. But then, we have also heard very instructive statements from different quarters, like some talking about religion, about ethnicity, and about region where a particular person comes from. So now, in the choice of running mates, what do you think, Senator, should be a major or the major options to consider? He has said that it should just be a good person, and some have argued that every region has the capacity to produce a good person who can lead properly.
True.
So now, when you talk about someone from a particular region,
Yeah.
Who now comes to uphold somebody from his own region and says both of them are good and they are tested and trusted to be good? Do you think Nigerians should give them their blessings?
I think that is where we've continued to have problems in Nigeria. Insincerity. When you begin to prefer a position that will lead to inclusiveness, that will lead to unity of the country, people will discard those things and brush it aside. Remember that in the run-up to the presidential nominations, rotation was a very topical issue. That presidency should rotate between the north and the south and across the geopolitical zones. This has been the convention, is what we have been practicing. But in this very election, some people said no more zoning. Anybody is free to contest. And because of that, they've been able to muzzle themselves through with whatever they were able to muster, both financial and otherwise. And they have now emerged. It's now at the point of choosing running mates. This is where our decisions will be clear to everybody. Nobody who is a presidential candidate from the north will nominate a vice presidential candidate from the north. They're all shopping from the south. And those who have emerged from the south are shopping from the north. If balancing is no longer important, like they made us to believe when they were jostling for these tickets, why are they crisscrossing the country now to do the balancing? Oh, if I'm a Muslim, I must get a Christian to be my running mate. If I'm a Christian, I must get a Muslim to be my running mate. This is it. We have preached that for us to have this country to be a truly united country, we must respect others. We must practice equity and fairness in what we do. So you don't choose when to practice it and when not to practice it. So I expect that anybody who is going into this election from whichever party, in choosing a running mate, must be very sensitive to the place of origin of their vice and the religion of their vice. These are the two things that are very, very important in the politics of Nigeria. So, having said that, I agree that every part of Nigeria can produce at least 20 credible people who can be either president or vice president. The way we now make our choices will determine how people will follow you. You see, immediately after the conclusion of these primaries, you've started seeing funny things happening. Very important politicians of the APC have started defecting to the PDP. Yes. They've started defecting to the PDP because, for example, and this movement is very common from APC to PDP, because the APC has nominated Tinubu from the Southwest as its candidate, and their major politicians in the North have started defecting to PDP, where Atiku emerged as the president candidate of the PDP. You don't put wool over the eyes of people and think that they're not reasoning. We are seeing all these things, and what is important for us now as a nation is to think about a president who will put this country on reverse gear. We are accelerating very fast into doom. Everything is falling apart. Any measure, any index you use to measure Nigeria today, we are failing. We are financing our budget with borrowed funds. A country that is blessed with huge resources, including petroleum resources. We can't finance our budget. We borrow trillions of dollars to finance our budget. I remember when I was growing up, Nigeria wasn't budgeting up to 1 billion naira annually as a country. Today we budget 16 trillion, and poverty is everywhere. People are suffering. Everything we want to do, we borrow from China, we borrow from everywhere. A country like this. So if we don't begin to put these things on the reverse, then we have no future. That is why we have to look at the presidential candidates that emerged and listen to their messages. What are they talking about? What reform are they promising Nigeria? Not that you have emerged a presidential candidate because you have been able to nurture a structure of political gangs that will always rally around you and put you forward. You become a candidate. What message do you have? Are you part of the old order that have the old order that have not been able to do anything to make Nigeria a sane society, a society that is progressive in nature? We've been listening to what they are saying. In fact, at the run-up of these primaries, I can tell you that the youths of this country have been looking at the presidential aspirants, and they have, through their actions, demonstrated where they want to go. They want to break away from the old order. You cannot do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. All these people who have come out now, what is their message, or what are their messages? What are their positions on the strike? Our students are at home, they are not in school, ASU is on strike, medical doctors are on strike, everywhere strike, everywhere. And people who have been there think that we want to give them the chance to continue running Nigeria this way. It's not possible. So what is important for me is that it doesn't matter who has emerged as a candidate, we'll use the right periscope to look at them, their antecedents, what they represent, what roles have they played in the past. I'm 60 years now. I met Nigeria when it was very good in the 70s. I was in primary school. Things were very good. You know, this dollar you are talking about now was less than 60 kobo to $1. Today, dollar is 600 and something naira. You know, everything has gone so awry. So we need to think where our thinking caps and begin to look for those people who are making sense. Where lies the solutions to the problems of Nigeria? Is it in recycling people? You bring somebody, he becomes presidential candidate, and what they have been able to do in the past have left us in this agony. So that's what I'm saying. And it's not about where you come from now, or because they are already aligning themselves along tribal and religious lines. We're going to get it wrong again. If you want to vote somebody because he's a northerner, you are getting it wrong. Northerners have been ruling. So we seek solutions to problems of Nigeria. This country will be great for all of us if we make right decisions. If Nigeria has a good economy, that economy will be good for all parts of Nigeria. It's not a sectional thing. If we have a strong naira, that strong naira will be good for all parts of Nigeria. It doesn't discriminate among whether you're from the south, from the north, or from east or west. Once you have a virile economy that is thriving, every citizen of this country will be proud to be a Nigerian. So the poverty index of Nigeria is embarrassing in the midst of huge resources available to this country. So this is not campaign time for any of the candidates, but I'm just trying to show what Nigerians should be thinking about. And if anybody thinks that you can continue to fool Nigerians, not in this election, because the difficulties are everywhere. Diesel is 700 to 800 naira a liter, you know. So we've never had it in this terrible form, because as these things are hard this way, the money is not there. That is why in the primaries, the delegates were not looking for good candidates. They were looking for candidates, aspirants that would give them money. They were looking for that money. From the reports we have gotten in this presidential nomination that happened last weekend, I understand some people made up as much as $10,000. That's 5 million naira. Anybody who got $10,000 can go and say, let the world end. But within 2 weeks, the 5 million naira will finish. In my own case, I contested a primary where I was the preferred aspirant. And when they saw that they couldn't stop me, early in the morning, they started sharing money, dollars everywhere. And eventually, I missed it by 11 votes. You know, you see, people should be looking for something that will endure, something that will last. It's not money. Poverty destroyed the primaries we just had. People wait for money because they're not sure when they will get the next money from anywhere. Then anybody gives them money, they take it. you know. So let's think now about the future of Nigeria, not about who the candidate, where the candidate comes from.
All right.
They have emerged. We will listen to them in the months ahead, and they will be separated. You know, they will be separated clearly by their messages.
Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of this program. Of course, we have always promised that this 1 hour is usually not enough for us to have an extended engagement. We are going to have another section of this conversation, and we'll have that communicated to you soon. This is the mandate, and we have been discussing at length with the Senator Victor Umeh, who is the former national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance and the senator that represented Anambra South Central at the 8th National Assembly. Currently, the senatorial candidate of the Labour Party for Anambra Central 2023 general elections. And he's also here with another powerful analyst who has represented Nigeria greatly. Osagie Eholor was arrested sometime during the NSAS and is currently a human rights activist who is even threatening that if he has the means, he will sue the federal government when God grants him grace.
I think that NSAS will repeat himself in the election.
Thank you very much for being part of the mandate.
We should avoid it. There's a possibility, but we should avoid it.
See you again next weekend.
But action, affirmative